Hey everybody, Psychosaurus is here, and today, well, we got another patch notes. Nice, yes, some changes happening. It's not too big, but there are quite a few big things happening. And let me switch that. Okay, so yeah, there's gonna be a lot of big things happening here, and it needs some kind of comment. So, changelog, balance changes. Celtic Carpenter now has a shield gear slot. Babylonian War Chariot now has a shield gear slot. Now, what does this mean? That both of these units now can equip shields. Now, both these units, especially the War Chariot, because that one has got recently changed, that it has less health, but it has 0.5 base pierce armor, which makes them really tanky against stuff that does pierce damage, whether it's ranged units, whether it's buildings, arrow ships, siege. They can take quite a while to actually kill. And now with the shield, both of these units, Carpenter already has pretty good pierce armor. So with this shield, you can get extra stats. Now, depending on what you want, because both of these got also really good damage, or Chariot since the last update as well. They got really good damage, like seriously. Both of these can easily get over 150 DPS, which is pretty good, especially for the Carpentum, but Carpentum doesn't, or yeah, it does not have that high health as War Chariot. And War Chariot is also getting some extra attacks thanks to the ziggurat attacks, so extra health, extra movement speed, extra damage, bonus versus villagers, they just get some extra there. So both of these can do a lot of damage. Now, what shields would I suggest for you to use? Obviously, we have the pure offensive shield, which is the Shield of Rostam. This is the best shield you can get for maximum damage output. And this shield gives about 10% DPS output on average because it has damage plus some crit chance. So 10% extra damage for both of these units. That's really nice, especially when you include the fact that there's a small chance for a critical hit. Their damage is very high, so if they crit, it's gonna hurt a lot more. And yes, some extra health is there as well, so it does not hurt. So Rostam definitely if you want the maximum damage output. Now, other alternatives that I would suggest would be like getting the Summer Shield if you can, because extra movement speed for both of these units is nice. That shield offers really good health, which for both of these units again is really good because they have very high pierce damage, and that's most likely what they will take as a source of damage, because usually siege, but in case of War Chariots, they have champion upgrade, which makes them destroy siege no matter what. So siege usually is not that big issue, and usually you don't even see that many siege units. So crash damage is not gonna hurt them that much. But yeah, if you see them, the movement speed is really nice, so you can dodge a little bit easier. For both of those, Carpenters got it a little bit worse against the siege, but because of their speed, I believe they can take care of siege anyway. And if you lose, hey, you just need to retrain them, so don't lose too many of them at the same time, because that would be bad. But yeah, the Summer Shield is an option, but obviously it is hard to get one. I don't remember when was the last time it was on. Might have been a few years. I think it did not return. Or was it with the light spear? I know the light spear has returned, and I think it might have been with the shield. I don't remember right now, but it might have been with the shield. So about a year or two since it was in the store. So yeah, it is an option. But if I had to say, I would suggest using something like Pluto's shield from OS. Again, it's gonna be harder to get, so cheap alternative would be the Ajax from Moe, or I think the not Cypress Creed store that has also the alternative. Basically, give them pierce armor because that's the main source of damage they will be taking from. Melee units, you don't really worry about. You can you can run away from those microdose units. Siege, if you dodge the shots, you can take care of the siege, most likely, especially with war chariots. Carpentoms, I need to try them. I haven't done carpentoms for so long. But yeah, melee units, you just run away. You kill those that get too close, and the slow ones, they never catch you. So yeah, Pluto is good alternative because hey, pierce armor, pierce damage will be taken. So if the more you take, hey, better it is. So yeah, that's these two units and the suggestions I have for those two. If you want to try it out, go ahead. Obviously, you have other options. It's your choice what you do. So yeah, try them out. Maybe if you have tried already, comment section is open. And remember, this blog is gonna be in the description below, the link, obviously. So you can check this out for yourself. Now let's move on. Persian Babylonian ram ship. Pierce armor increased to 0.7 from 0.5. Movement speed increased to 8.5 from 8. And I seriously hate this change. And I was like so angry about this yesterday because goddamn, this is just, they apply the change from the champion mode here. Now for champion mode, I don't really care what they do because okay, ram ships, fire ships have the increased pierce armor. Once you get those, they are anti-ship units, and that's their main purpose. They are supposed to destroy enemy navy. So I get it, they get the pierce armor because most likely the enemy will have arrow ships from the H2. So I get it that once these units come out, you want them to survive for as long as possible so they can destroy the enemy arrow ships. It makes sense there. But here, this is PvE. Come on, these units can easily get 3000 health. I'm not joking. Easily over 3000 health. If you use Scipio, which in my opinion is the best ram head you can get on ram ships right now, you get also some extra pierce armor. And with this pierce armor, it shouldn't be a problem to get like 0.85. Which is something that siege units have base. Which is huge, okay? Just imagine, this is like 6-7 times more health against pierce damage. Like I said, 3000 health. Oh my god. 20,000 health for one of these units? Are you serious? It's just too much. It's just too much if you ask me. And I'm not even talking about the AI, okay? How often do you actually see the ram ships? Like, I don't think you see Babylonian one because what do you have? You have the General Zoo quest, no navy there. Maybe I think Euphrates might have some pre-placed naval units, but you don't really go on water to fight enemy navy, so you don't really see them there. And against Persians, I mean, we have Zabul. There is no water battle, if I remember correctly. It's all desert, so no. And then we have the Athens. Okay, maybe you see them in the incursions. You could see them there, that could be happening, but how many of you do actually play repeatable or elite version of the incursions? You play them once, you're done. You don't want to see those most likely again. So yeah, from my perspective, this is mainly for players. And this is definitely something I don't think ram ships really need. I am okay with the movement speed part though. I am okay. I think they should be a little bit faster. So I am okay with the extra movement speed they get. No issue there. But the PS armor is overkill. Seriously. Going from 0.50 to 0.70, that's 40% less damage from pierce damage taken. And remember, that's not only arrow ships, that's also the static defenses or ranged units, or maybe even siege, like depending on the quest, but most likely the static defenses. I mean, come on, how do your ram ships die now? Outside of like crush damage, how do they die? They need to take too much, in my opinion. So this is why I dislike this. And in my opinion, it also makes, I don't want to say it, but I have to say it. It makes players a little bit lazy because now suddenly you don't have to like dodge the arrows. You don't care. You just go. You just go. You don't care. They attack you. So what? This pierce armor makes me so resilient that. Oh, you're tickling me. That's literally what's happening. What's gonna happen? And I definitely need some proof for this. So definitely gonna need to make some video with the ram ships, because this is insane. Obviously, crush damage is still gonna be good. So if the enemy is training fire ships, ram ships, which is rare, but from like Romans, the enemies, oh yes, that's gonna hurt. Those are still gonna hurt. But how many of them do you actually see in the game? That's the question here. But let's move on, because I seriously hate to see this number. It's too insane in my opinion. Okay, Egyptian fishing boat now has the same gathering rate as all other civilizations. Egyptian caravan now has the same gold trade as all other civilizations. Now, if you haven't noticed until now, Egyptians actually have a little bit disadvantage towards their economic units. Well, up to this point, it was all of them, pretty much. But yeah, their villagers have the highest training time of all. I think they are 18 seconds, if I remember correctly, so like 3 seconds more. The fishing boats had actually reduced gather rate by 10%, and same for the caravan, they had the gold trade reduced by 10%. Now, why would Egyptians have that? Because they have Priestess of Ra. That's the simplest answer I can give you. They have Priestess of Ra, and Priestess of Ra is a very powerful unit, especially for your economy. If you are not using them, you're playing Egyptians wrong, because that economic boost those can give you, especially once you're level 40 with the gear, it's insane. Okay? And yeah, for the caravans, it actually did not make sense too much, because the priestess do not affect the gold trade. So I can kind of get why caravans would get the balance. For fishing boats, I still feel like they need the nerf in some form, because priestess can actually buff not only the training time but also the drop off. And since fishing boats are the most effective food source you can have, this is actually a really huge buff for your Egyptians. Yeah, try to utilize the fishing boats, utilize the priestess, put them on the docks, because goddamn, how much extra food you can actually get. Like, even if it's just 20%, it is a lot, because that's 200 food per fishing spot. Huge. Okay? So definitely I can appreciate this buff, that it's more balanced, but I still feel like that the fishing boats need some kind of nerf in some form. Caravans, I would increase the train time, to be honest. Like, make it as with the villages, because then it would make sense that, like, okay, you make it equal. How about we consider the fact that we can use the priestess of Ra, because suddenly you can like produce so many caravans. Well, who cares? Most players will just pick nanos and build so many markets that who cares? You're just gonna produce it all at the same time. Yes, we need to nerf that nanos. God dang it. Why won't we nerf that one? That guy has been getting on my nerves. It's so annoying seeing every player, or most players, just using him, abusing him, I would say. Well, whatever. I'm okay with this, but I still feel like some kind of nerf is needed for these to compensate for the fact that Egyptians have Priestess of Ra. I would say go with the training times, not the gather rates. Make it just like with the villagers. So fishing boats, suddenly the base train time would be 36 seconds. Caravans would be 18 seconds. It would make sense, to be honest. With all the gear, you can get training times reductions. At level 40, you won't even notice the difference, okay? if you're using the priestess. Let's move on. Norse Skirmisher. Wood cost reduced to 40 from 45. Bonus versus ranged increased to 4.5 from 3.5. Training time reduced to 10 seconds from 11 seconds. Now, if I had to say what I like about this, it's the cost reduction. Definitely 100%, because from my perspective, skirmishers just cost so much wood. I mean, it's just 5 gold versus 45 wood. So now 40 wood, I'm okay with that. It's on the same level as, let's say, Toxotes, Babylonian Bowman. This was, I believe, the highest wood cost for the ranged unit in H2, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not forgetting, because slingers are usually cheap, and Bowman didn't go over 40, so for skirmisher this was like very high. And skirmishers are not bad units, to be honest. They are good at what they are supposed to do, countering ranged units. If you have some good amount of them, they can do some work on the enemy melee units, especially those that have like high infantry armor but low pierce armor. For example, legionaries. If you have enough, yes, having some pierce damage can be good to take them out. But with the wood cost it was before, it was hard to get enough of those skirmishers, because you need wood to build buildings, obviously. So it was very expensive. I agree with the cost. Bonus versus ranged. I feel like we're getting on an overkill here, because remember, they get pretty much, actually both of these changes, the bonus and the train time reduction, from the champion upgrade, if I remember correctly. So if you get the champion upgrade, it's even better for them. So it's like this boost early that can turn into greater boost later. I don't know. I just have the issue with skirmishers that their damage is so low that they need this high bonus to actually be useful. It's questionable to me, okay? It's questionable. I guess I can agree with these. It's not the end of the world, to be honest, but it feels like brutal counter, and PF2K was mentioning like countering elephant archers or war chariots with these, and I was like, I can kind of see the elephant archer, but at the time you see elephant archers, you usually have something else to counter them, like let's say log throwers. That's much bigger stick than what the skirmishers throw. And the war chariots, I don't know if he realizes what's countering what. But I'm seriously not gonna use skirmishers against war chariots. Especially not when they're elite. Oh boy. But yeah, I definitely like the cost. The rest I'm kinda okay with, so not a problem. Telegram, Pierce armor increased to 0.85 from 0.70. Norse Farbeorder Pierce armor increased to 0.85 from 0.70. Crush DPS increased to 54 from 36. Bonus versus buildings reduced to 2 times from 3 times. So yeah, I combine in these two together because these are the only RAM units that had lower Pierce armor than any other RAM. Or siege in general, because if you take a look at all the siege units that are there, they have 0.85 base pierce armor, which is insane when you think of unit like Scorpio, because I feel like that unit could have a little bit lower pierce armor. No, seriously, like, I mean, there are two guys standing next to the Scorpio. Okay, they are protected, so I get it why it's high, but come on, you don't see the guys driving the Onager. Come on. These guys are big, easy to hit. Like, why not reduce their pierce armor? It would make sense, and at least a little bit easier to counter the Scorpios for some civs. But okay, let's back to the Rams. So yeah, these were the only exceptions. Now, for Celtic Rams, I am okay, but I would say I would be okay with the armor here because Celts have druids. That's all I'm gonna say. Celts have druids, Celts have ogres. They have great support. Like, hey, I can heal them to increase their damage. Hey, with the pierce armor they have, that's a lot of effective healing on them. Hey, I can buff them through ogres. Suddenly, ooh, that's a lot of damage with the extra 50%. Why not, right? But yeah, I can agree, because who would go with Celtic Ram if your infantry just does the same job even better, and it's easier to get because both of these siege units are coming from the fortress. But for the Celts, it's worse because they have the more stone expansive fortress version than the Norse. They have the more wood expensive version, which takes only 2 minutes to build versus the Celtic one taking 3 minutes. So it's definitely harder for Celts to get the number of rams. It's a little bit annoying. So I can see this buff and I'm okay with it. For Norse, Farbjorders, now I seriously feel like these guys need some kind of buff. I wouldn't say that these kind of changes are necessarily what I would see, but I can agree with the pierce armor. I would rather increase their health, not gonna lie. I just feel like they die too fast. Even in the elite version, they die too fast. And even when it's ranged unit, they die just too fast, to be honest. And just so you know, these number changes means, hey, they take double the pierce damage than before, okay? Because the damage is cut in half. So suddenly, hey, double health against pierce damage. That's actually really good, especially for rams. So really good change. I am glad that it happened for the Farbjorders at least. For the rams, I'm okay. I'm okay. And I wonder if people will use more rams. The answer, no, it's not gonna happen. But it would be nice. Now about the damage change for the Farbjorder, when you actually think about it, this is the same DPS output as before, because 54 times 2, that's 108. 36 times 3, that's 108. So why did this even happen? Now remember, Farbjorders have their champion upgrade that allows them to attack units. And obviously bonus versus buildings doesn't do anything against units. So their base damage is actually the reason why this happens, so they can actually attack the units, do some extra damage against the units. So that's the main reason why this happened. Does it make sense? I think it does. And I just want to see Farbjorders to have some love, although I still feel like they are in need of some buff, if you ask me. Celtigrams are gonna be okay because they're fast, okay? Which would be also kind of counter argument to this higher PS armor, but okay. For Farbjorders, it's not that easy because they are slow. They have 5 movement speed, which is still higher than your typical ram. But still, damn, I just feel like they need some better buffs. I'm okay with this. It's like the start, but I feel like they could use some extra health. I feel like they could use some better champion upgrade, because from what it does, it's just not worth it in my opinion. But okay, let's move on, because I definitely am looking forward to see if players start using these more. If there will be like more comments, more screenshots with these. Probably not. But I would love to see more Farbjorders in action. At least them. Like Telegrams, I mean, I'm not expecting that. Farbjorders would be nice. Okay, hunting dogs. Cost reduced to 75 wood, 50 gold. From 150 wood, 50 gold. Now, I don't know where did this come from. I honestly have no idea where did this come from. And I'll be honest, I know it was a very expensive tech, and if you don't know which one this is the H1 storehouse tech, which improves the villagers against the huntables, plus increasing the gather rate from huntables. So it's a very good tech. I can agree that it was very expensive for this, but going down like 50% of the wood cost, I just feel like this is overkill because remember, you can always pick ID in H1 and suddenly this tech is not expensive. But I get it because usually there's not that many huntables. But then I'm like, if there are so many huntables in some quest, suddenly this is too good. So I am kinda against this change. I would prefer if it was like 100 wood, but like going down to 75, I just feel like this is again overkill. But who knows? Who knows? I'm just gonna say it's overkill because hey, Romans got the milestone, free 10%. Now stack this with another 10%. Yay! That's a lot of food from Huntables. You got Alpep with that? Oh yes, sure. That's too good, if you ask me. But yeah, let's move on, because I just feel like Map updates. Okay, defeat Marion and all of its variants. Change the area near player 1 spawns slightly so that the North civilization spawns with all of their starting longhouses. If you have never noticed this, I guess you wouldn't care really that much, but yeah, it's still like, hey, you should be starting with 3 longhouses and not just 2. In Marion, you were missing the left longhouse, which I wouldn't say it was necessarily too bad for you because hey, it's just 100 wood. But if you suddenly have like you're capped with the population, you did not rebuild the longhouse, it can be annoying. It can be annoying because you lack the 10 population. So yeah, it's been there for a long time. Now it's fixed. Good. Okay, bug fixes. Fixed an issue where the Roman civilization would start with incorrect starting units and buildings under certain conditions. PF2K's note for real this time. So yeah, I was talking about this in the last patch note video. There was a hotfix that was claiming to fix this. Unfortunately, it did not fix. I'm not gonna look it up because it was just like a few hotfixes like this. And something small, like nothing really important. But yeah, this should fix it. Hopefully, I didn't check it. Would be nice to check it. Well, should be fixed finally. No Persian Roman or whatever you wanted to call it. Fix an issue with the Egyptian civilization starting spawns where sometimes priestesses of Ra would get stuck between the temple of Ra and the nearby berry bushes. I'm seriously gonna say that was rather a player's issue because you would do it once, you would learn, okay, don't do it, don't don't make the priestess spawn like at the northern side of the temple and rather put the rally point south of it so it does not happen. But no, we got to change this. We got to change this. Oh boy. And this was mainly in Marion, if I remember. I think Opus had this as well. But yeah, the Temple of Ra should have been moved a little bit. Shouldn't be happening now. I'm just gonna say it was a player issue, not the layout issue. And that's it. Fixed an issue where the quest Stolen Roman Gauntlets was incorrectly affected by the quest rotation system. Yeah, if you got the rotation in Rome, you could get some extra coins and empire points from that quest. No reason, it's just the global quest getting affected, which shouldn't have happened. Okay, moving on. UI updates added a power level bar to the gear dismantler UI. This bar displays how high the stats of your item are, or in other words, how good your item is. So this is pretty much adding the same bar you have at the Spartan Reforger or Spartan Forge for reforging. It's the same bar, just saying, hey, your item stats on this item are at this level. I'll show it to you in a second. Then we got opening the gear dismantler UI now also automatically opens player's inventory. That was really annoying thing. So now it should be opening. Added 2 new pages to the Gear Dismantler UI, Material Output Guide and a Material Type Guide. They can be accessed on the left side of the UI via the 3 newly added buttons. So again, I'll show it to you in a second. Change the order of Grand Persian, Celtic and Roman warehouse blueprints in the Empire Stone to match the main menu civilization selection screen's order. Yeah, going like Greeks, Egyptian, Celts, Persians, Romans, stuff like that. So just ordering. Other updates, made several changes and optimizations to the Gear Dismantler's item output. Uncommon gear can now be dismantled regardless of whether or not they are found in stores. You wanna dismantle uncommon gear? Is it from store? Doesn't matter, you're just gonna dismantle it. Interesting. Made several changes and optimizations to the Gear Dismantler's item output. Why is it there twice? I don't know. So if you ask me, I kind of like the fact that Carpenters and War Chariots got the shield gear, because for like the Javelin units, they were the only ones that did not get shield. If you take a look, Peltas got shield, Sarisophor got shield, Takabara shield. What else is there? Skirmishers got shield, and skirmishers don't really have the visual for the shield, which is the weirdest thing, but it's true. So why not Carpenters or War Chariots? I mean, they have the chariot, it's working as a shield, I would guess. Or at least I would put in some shield to protect the rider. So it makes sense. So yeah, I just feel like this is good change. The Ram ship, the Pierce armor is just the worst one I've seen in a long while. Probably one of the worst changes. The only change that would be worse than this was removing 100% bonus damage to chiefs from Biorix. That was the worst one so far. I hate it. I don't get it why hunting dogs need to be so cheap. That's another thing. You can always pick hiding. Come on. Now it's even cheaper. I like Farbuilders. I'm okay with Rams. I'm okay with Skirmishers. I'm okay with the fishing boats and caravans for the Egyptians. Getting on the same level as other civs, I just feel like they still need some nerf. And I would just suggest the training times, so it's like same thing as for the villagers, and then some small changes. So yeah, tell me what you're thinking in the comment section below. I gotta do this and end this fast. So yeah, this mantler, but before that, hey, you wanna check the war chariot? Now I need to see where it is. It's down here. Hey, here's the shield. Nice thing, right? Looks cool. And we can use shields on them. Okay, now for the gear dismantler. You can see it pretty much looks the same, but hey, here's the power level. So if I had to put, let's say, what is this, Rostam, you can see it's moving. Same as the Spartan Forge for reforging, it's the same thing. Why is this important? Because the power level is like used as an indicator how many materials you're gonna get from this. So it can decide whether you get 1, 2 or 3 legendary materials. So that is that. Now notice these 3 buttons. That's what was mentioned in the patch notes. So gear dismantler over here, that's the based window we got before. Now we got this, which is, what do you call it? Dismantle output guide. Here you can find which materials you get from dismantling each type of gear. The higher your item stats, the more materials you get for dismantling. So you pretty much take a look. Hey, armor plating. If I dismantle the legendary armor plating, I'll get these materials. Number depending, obviously, on the power level. And yeah, notice that we have multiple pages because I was showing it to you in the last, when the dismantler got into the game, and you could see that was a lot longer list. So yeah, you can see, hey, it's a long list. Oh boy, it's a long list. Okay, so if you want to check it out for yourself, you can. Just visit Rome. And then we got this button, material types guide, which pretty much is telling you, hey, you have the basic materials, advanced materials, then the rarities, basic workshops, which you can have 8 in each of your home cities, and then advanced materials where you can have 2 workshops in your home city, per city obviously. Now obviously we got the legendary materials, and I don't remember if I mentioned this, but for now the legendary materials are only obtainable through the gear dismantler. Later there should be recipes for the advanced materials, but there is no usage for these materials for now, except you might be able to sell them, which if you take a look, for 12 I got 172, for 2 I got 28. It's just 14 coins per piece. Not the worst, but you would be still better off selling the piece of gear on its own and not dismantling it. So for now the materials are kinda useless, but later on you should be able to use them because there will be new stuff added. And that's all I have to say. So the changes were told, read through. So tell me what you think about these in the comment section, because I just don't like most of these. I just feel like it's not good. It's not good for the game, if you ask me. But I can get it why you don't disagree, because come on, it's just gonna make game easier for you. Well, whatever. If you like this, like the video, press that like button, come on. It's just one click, it doesn't cost you anything. You just move that cursor over there and press the left mouse button. Same with the subscribe button, come on, if you haven't subscribed already, come on, what are you waiting for? It's just this one button, just click on it, come on. That's all it takes. It's free, come on, you just do it for free. And yeah, comment, share this, and I'll see you next time. Bye.